Hello, everyone. I'm doing a quick solo astrology transit recording video because when I had planned my month ahead and decided on which transits I was going to be discussing in my Insight Timer class on December 3rd, I didn't put in either of the lunations, so I'm going to be recording those separately. On December 4th, we have the full moon in Gemini at 13 degrees. And this transit is taking place at 6:14 p.m. Eastern Time. So to cover the basics of full moons, what you want to understand about them is they are a big culmination energy. So the moon is operating by sign in 6-month cycles. So you would plant the seeds at the Gemini new moon. And in this case, that happened May 26th of this year. And then approximately 6 months later, so as you can see, it was not exact, we have the full moon in the same sign, different degree point, but still the connection between the two of them. So whatever it is that you were working on or trying to manifest at that time, things that you were thinking about, you can go back to that week, specifically that day in particular, emails, text, journal, dream log, etc. Or if you happen to have done a manifestation exercise or practice, if you wrote down intentions, if you wrote down anything that you wanted to call in. And on the full moon day, you sit, reflect, appreciate the entirety of the last 6 months from that starting point. What have you achieved during that window of time? Now, to understand a little bit more of the astrology, we have to keep in mind that this is a Gemini full moon. Gemini is the mutable air sign ruled by Mercury. So it's very chatty, inquisitive. It's the contrarian, dualistic. We have the twins. And then there's just a lot of mental energy going on, and that's because of the Mercury rulership. So what you could do on this day. So Eastern time for me, it's in the evening. So I could do this really anytime before I wanted to go to bed. Connecting to your intuition. So paying attention to anything that's coming through. Meditating or doing some sort of gentle movement practice to calm the mind. And you also could do a brain dump. In other words, pen and paper, sit there for a few minutes, maybe you have a timer going, and just write, and you're just getting everything that's out of your head out, but not in a way that you're that you don't have to run around and tell everybody everything, because you may have a lot, because heightened energy, heightened emotions on a full moon. So you can just channel that out, pen to paper, tuck it away, see how you feel the next day. You also could use this writing opportunity to do a gratitude log, looking back on the last 6 months, or just how you're feeling today when you're doing this exercise. So normally when I do these classes live, I go through different chart examples from people in the chat. Obviously, it's just me and my desk today. So I channeled 3 different houses to go over today. So I'm just going to rattle them off the cuff. And the first one is the 6th house. So if you have this full moon in Gemini in your 6th house, the 6th house represents our balance, our work ethic, our physical health. So our body, how our body is feeling. Is our body in alignment? Is our body balanced? Your job, as in your current job, your responsibilities. So it has like the work-life balance, and it also has pets thrown in there, maybe just because it's a responsibility and it's something that's caretaking in a way, which a little bit of that is tucked in there to the 6th house. So you could be looking back on the last 6 months to say, how have my conversations around balance changed? Have I shifted my mindset at all in any of these areas of life? Have I learned anything? Gemini is very inquisitive, so maybe you read a book or took a class or found a mentor or someone that you were able to extract information from to then say, what's my new system isn't the right word for Gemini, but what's um, my new understanding of how I can make all of this work, how I'm operating in this space. Now, if you have this moon happening in your 11th house, that is networking, friendships, larger community groups, and social media as well. So another one that is in some ways related to communication. So what's going on with all of those relationships? Have you connected or disconnected from certain people? And disconnection isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes Gemini needs to check out. It's talking a lot. So what is going on with the communication in all of those different relationships? How are you getting on? And on the social media side, this is coming in and thinking about your presence, how you are using those platforms to communicate your thoughts, not opinions, but your knowledge. So have you been sharing wisdom? Have you been teaching other people? Have you become a teacher for your community or friendships or networking or social media at all? And how do you feel about that achievement? If so, what are the facets of it? And then finally, I had the second house, which is financial. So it's things that you own, things that you've purchased, how you earn money, and your values, things that you find valuable, so physical items and assets as well. And then your sense of self-worth. So how you're taking care of yourself, your self-talk. Again, how are you talking to yourself? Has that shifted at all? Have you leveraged any mantras or affirmations to change a little bit of the inner dialogue? Same thing with money. How have you been changing your relationship to money or talking about money? Similar to talking about earlier, have you connected with anybody who's been able to teach you anything about how to manage your finances? Read any books? Attended any classes? Downloaded any programs or shifted how you are tracking anything with your finances and how money is coming in? Or have you studied or learned anything that relates to ways that you earn money, like maybe signing up for a certification program so that it can help you with getting a promotion? So yeah, those are just some quick examples. Of course, there's many other ways that these can manifest. And on the manifestation side, make sure if you've written some down that you take a moment to reflect on them. We don't use the full moons to set or anything out because these are the completion of a cycle. So we're looking in retrospect and reflecting and being open and grateful and appreciative for what has come through. The next time that we would set an intention to call things in would be in a few weeks with our next new moon. Otherwise, quick reminder that we are in the midst and the beginning of my 21-day challenge. If you follow me on any of my social media, hopefully you've seen this by now. If not, consider popping on over there. The links are in my bio, so you can click on my little link tree and find my different social media accounts. And I'm doing a 21-day winter solstice spiritual alignment. So each day there's a new activity. I've channeled the full schedule and all the different activities and what people are doing, which I so appreciate. Everybody that's already been doing this, that is participating, is commenting below, sharing that they've completed that day's challenge or sharing other details about it, just so we can be each other's accountability buddies. So this is going to be coming out on December 3rd, which means it's day 3. Depending on your time zone, it might not be too late to do day 3. And if you want to go back and do the first few days, you're more than welcome to. You're not prohibited from going backwards or doing anything to catch up. But yeah, I hope that you consider participating. Again, it's totally free, just a nice collective experience. And if you enjoy it, please let me know because then I could maybe do another one or something different, but similar, challenge based in 2026.